Donna Rod for the last 40 years. And today I have my special guest, International Spiritual Intelligence Method, empowering you to achieve your dreams without sacrificing harmony in your life. No other than Miss Donna Tashjian. Welcome to Book 101, Miss Donna. And can you please introduce more about yourself?
Sure. Thank you, Daniel. It's a pleasure to be with you today. I am the founder and CEO of Vibrant Living International. And at the core of it, I simply want to help people live vibrantly as they can, living their dreams and their passions and their purpose without struggle, strain, striving from a place of ease and grace.
Yes, I love that. Ease and grace. Thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world, Miss Donna. And today, let's talk about you were born for this. Step into your God given assignment. What does it mean to have a God given assignment, and how is it differ from personal goals or ambitions?
Uh, Everyone has a purpose and a plan. Everyone is unique, and we're created for a special purpose with gifts that no one else has. Everyone is amazingly made and wonderfully made. And the difference between goals and passion is goals are how I get to where I want to go. It's stepping stones, if you will, but it isn't. Your passion or purpose is linked to your identity of who you are and why is it what you love to do.
Definitely. And how can someone discern between their own desires and God's calling for their life?
uh they aren't necessarily different, but one of the biggest keys is when it is something that God has designed, it always helps other people. And it's in the ability of helping others that you turn around and are abundantly blessed as well. And if you talk about just our own desires, perhaps, I mean, we've all been selfish at some point. And so the difference is that it's not selfish and it's in service of others, even though it blesses us as well.
Definitely. What are the first signs that someone is stepping into their divine assignment?
Mm, it's something that they can do and they don't get tired. They lose track of time, is an easy way to say, an easy way to determine it. And you're asking super deep questions that in our short time together, I can't answer fully because it's different for each and every person. But that is one of the easiest ways. It's something that you lose track time of. It's also perhaps a need that you see that frustrates you or even makes you angry. And that could be something that is leaning towards what you're here to make a difference in.
Make a difference indeed and unique. Let's talk about the overcoming fear and doubt. What's the biggest mental emotional barrier that keeps people from pursuing their God given dreams?
One of the things that I love to help people do, and this is the way I phrase it, is I want to stop identity theft. And I'm not talking about our finances. I'm talking about those things that want to steal who you really are. If you have had trauma in your childhood or something that identifies you as a certain way, I'm not good at that. I can't do that because of somebody's words over your life. A lot of those things prevent us from stepping into. I mean, I'm a case study of that. Everything that I'm doing today, I have said that I can't do, but here I am. And so it's beginning to believe the truth instead of believing what somebody else might have said about you, finding out what God said about you.
Definitely. And how do you help someone move past the fear of failure when, well, stepping into their calling?
Fear of failure. It is redefining what failure is one of the steps. Just because we mess up, what does that actually mean? I use the analogy of learning to ride a bike. Now, if we had stopped the first time we fell over, none of us would ever have ridden a bike. And doing something that you've never done before can be like that. It is determining that failure doesn't mean because I'm learning this that I'm a failure. It means I'm growing in it and having a growth mindset as opposed to a failure mindset.
Indeed. And Miss Donna, let's talk about the practical steps to fulfillment. What are the three keys you've identified to build your dreams, and why are they critical?
Could you repeat the question?
Yes. What are the three keys you've identified to build your dreams, and why are they critical?
The first is knowing who you are and whose you are. And it is redefine. It's not just finding out what I'm passionate about, but who does God say that I am? It is building that relationship first and figuring out what that is and how that looks. And so that's the way I say it is who I am and whose I am is a lot to do with identity. And so that's one of the first steps. And from there, it's discovering what you're passionate about. What are your some of your gifts? What are some of the things that light me up? And how do I begin to grow in those areas? Just because I am, let's pretend, an artist and I know how to draw doesn't mean I can't grow in that gift. So every gift we have, it's there for us to grow and cherish. How can we step into being even better at it so we become a master, not just someone who draws, if you will. And the third is being bold and taking action. And it is learning to be able to be confident in who I am and letting go of people pleasing, so somebody else might think, all of those kind of things. And I am really naming three steps, but it takes time to walk through this. And there are a lot of steps in between that I help people do. Why is it important? Because I want to help people live a life at the end of their life with no regrets, that they have lived fully and vibrantly and made the world a better place in the process.
With no regrets, people, and you are the master of the universe. I am the master of the universe, as they saying. And how can someone start talking practical steps toward their calling when they don't yet see the full picture?
One of the steps would be to have a conversation with me. I am a master at helping people discover their purpose and step into that from a place of grace and ease. And I jokingly but seriously say, I show you where the easy button is. It doesn't have to be hard. It isn't a microwave, though. It isn't, I just hop in this and it's all better, but there is a process of growth and you can find joy in the journey.
Indeed, embrace the journey, people, and learn from it and enjoy and enjoy. Don't be afraid for those journey because you will learn from it. And Miss Donna, what are daily habits or disciplines help people stay aligned with their God-given assignment?
The number one thing that I teach is I call it a 15-minute miracle. Now mine is a lot longer than 15 minutes now, but that's where we usually begin is in the morning, the first 15 minutes of the day, decide what you're going to make a priority in your life. For me, it's devotional time, it's worship, it's prayer, it's journaling, and also what I call daily brain training. It is training your brain to think in alignment of who you really are because everything in that is surrounding us, it doesn't take much to find some negativity and speaking into us. So it is being intentional on purpose. If you're in a river and you're not paddling, you'll end up downstream. So it is intentionally learning how to paddle with grace and ease.
Yes, grace and ease. And Miss Donna, let's talk about the leadership and influence. How does understanding your divine assignment change the way you lead others?
So often I have encountered people who feel like leadership is a title, and leadership isn't a title necessarily, even though it can involve that. Leadership is learning to step into your grace, your calling, and helping others. And people are leaders when they don't even realize it. So, learning to be able to step into that without looking for um, a person's permission to be who you are, and who you've called to be. It's quitting looking for people's approval and begin to just be who you are.
Miss Donna, as a coach and a founder, what are your short term and long term goals?
Ah, they're close to the same. I want to reach more people. I want to reach more people so that they can live a vibrant life. And I have lots of ways to do that, but that is my goal is to be able to reach people so that they can live vibrant, joy-filled, peace-filled life.
Well, Miss Donna, good luck to your goals and looking forward for more success. And what would be your piece of advice for those people that don't want to be, of course, like you?
Choose your coach or who is speaking into your life carefully. There are a lot of people today who wear this title and don't always deliver on their promises. And I've hired them too. And don't DIY it. Find out someone who's got a success record. I have been coaching and mentoring for over 30 years before coaching was so fashionable. So find someone who has that type of track record and choose carefully and don't DIY it. Get help so that you can. All the most successful people, athletes, movie stars, everyone has a coach. And so don't wait till you reach a certain level. Don't make it harder on yourself and get someone to help you along the way.
Definitely. And thank you for that recommendation, Miss Donna, or advice, I should say. And can you please recommend a book or books that influence your journey?
Well, the Bible is number one, and that's the number one book that's influenced my life. One of the early books that influenced my life was by Stephen Covey, The 7 Habits of Highly Successful People. That was another one that was a big influence in my life. Um, so I would begin there.
Yes, begin from those people, read it, and for sure you will be, well, empowered. And thank you for that recommendation, Miss Donna. How does living out your God given assignments impact future generations?
And setting an example and leaving a legacy, and I think it leave an indelible mark that we might not even live to see, but setting an example for what it feels like and is like to live that way will leave a lasting legacy.
A lasting legacy for everyone, for sure. Can you share a personal story of when you had to take leap? of faith into your own assignment?
Yes, I can. And I had been working at a nonprofit organization. I also had my own business, and I was also working full time as a realtor. So I guess you would say that was 2.5 jobs. And so I was a bit stressed. I was really trying to grow things financially for our family with my husband. But I had this desire to really help people, and I knew there was something more than what I was currently doing, which is why I took that part-time job. And it didn't end well. It started all right, but the management changed. It ended up toxic. And I remember, uh, when you can remember the date, the weather, almost what you were wearing. It was one of those kind of days, and it was March 31st. It was doing sleety rain, and my face matched it as I walked out of that place. And
Mm.
my heart felt like in a vice. I was sobbing, and I said, I don't know what I'm supposed to do, but I know there's something more. And because it was toxic, there had been a lot of negativity, things that were said, and it brought up stuff from my past that I thought, this isn't an issue anymore. And all of a sudden, uh, you know, doubting yourself and all of that. So it was a process to go through. And through that process of seeking God and praying and getting counsel, Vibrant Living was born. And I didn't feel vibrant. And that was the name of it. You're going to help people live vibrantly. And I'm like, but I don't even feel vibrant. How am I supposed to help anybody do this? And through that process of being able to, someone said, Donna, you are a coach. You need, and I'm like, going back to school to learn how to run coaching as a business, as a practice, as opposed to something that I had done, was a leap because I had lost a job. I didn't have the finances to say yes to that, but my husband and I prayed about it, and I did a Geronimo leap and said yes, and the rest is history.
Definitely history, history indeed. Miss Donna, how do you handle criticism or discouragement when pursuing something God has placed in your heart?
I think delay is the biggest thing that gets people. It should have happened by now. I should be at a different place than I am right now. And I think that's one of the biggest things is releasing outcomes and simply do what you're supposed to do. Releasing the way that it turns out and continue to have faith that the things that are unseen will become seen, and get up every day and choose joy, choose to believe, and move forward. That is the way that I handle it. Criticism of people don't bother me much anymore. It's somebody's opinion, and everybody has one. If you think about how many different kinds of art there are, music, cars, and every one of them is somebody's opinion of what's good, but not everybody likes the same thing. So I don't have to have anybody's approval. I just want to do what God has called me to do.
Definitely. Don't care what people say about you, people. What does it mean to walk boldly into your calling, especially when facing opposition?
Hmm. I kind of think that one's been answered, but to walk boldly just means to do the thing in front of you and letting go of outcomes and the way other people think at you. And that doesn't mean it's easy. I mean, if somebody's really critical or yelling at us or whatever, it doesn't mean it's easy, but we get to choose what we focus on, and putting one step in front of the other and continuing is a powerful practice.
Powerful practice indeed. How can trials and setbacks actually prepare us for our divine assignment?
Well, as I described in losing that job, if I had continued thinking that was where God was leading me, I would not be reaching the people that I'm doing today. And so I call that one of the worst days, but one of the best days of my life. And that moment, I wouldn't have said it was a good thing, but it was an amazing thing because it set me on this journey. So to me, this core belief that moved me through that trials, disappointments, things not going the way you think they should is I firmly believe all things can work together for my good. I may not see it at the moment, but coming from that belief helps you have hope and take different action because your perspective is this is going to be turning out good for me somehow.
Well, Miss Donna, before we wrap up our discussion for today, I'm inviting you to please do listen to my other podcast, people, because my abstract essay is already in fifth season, abstract poetry in second season, and my book 101 review in fifth season too, comedy 101 in second season, and my food 101 in fifth season as well, geography 101 in fourth season, and my baby podcast law 101 and mental health 101, love letters in fourth season, and my movie 101 review and music 101 in its fourth season too, science 101 and text 101 in its first season. Please listen to them wherever you listen your podcast. Miss Donna, what is your final word of encouragement for someone who knows they were born for this but has not yet stepped into it fully?
Well, first thing is get a coach. Find someone that can help you and support you. And I would love to talk with you. On my website, there's a place where you can schedule and let's meet and get to know each other. Have a cup of tea. I'm always drinking tea and just talk and see where you can go from there. And the final thing I'll say is one of my best advice one of my coaches gave to me is to get up every day and proceed as if success is inevitable. Sometimes we
Success.
plan for failure,
Yes.
thinking we are being wise. But what if you got up every day and acted and proceeded as if success was inevitable?
Don't afraid to commit mistake or failure, people, because you will learn from them. They make you better, best, excellent in the future. Miss Donna Tashjian, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world. So can you please invite our listeners to support your advocacy, your business, or whatever projects that you're doing right now?
Well, on my website, I will, on my homepage, I have upcoming events. I just finished a master class, and so there's always events arising in the future. I also have a podcast, the Vibrant Living Podcast, and a blog. So check those out on my website at ivibrantliving.com.
Yes, people, let's support Miss Donna Tashjian because if you support her, for sure, more and more empowering episodes of the podcast itself, more and more empowering coaching to come, and for sure, more and more empowering advocacy to come. So, Miss Donna, thank you so much for your time.
My pleasure, Daniel.
More to come, people. See you soon.